Hi again, year three. Hope you're okay. And I am back with Mouse, Bird, Snake, and Wolf. Um, I'm going to start from where we left off, obviously. And I've got some questions here behind me, which I'll go through now. So first of all, why do you think the children were very quiet for a time? So that's an inference question where you have to read between the lines. The next one. Why does little Ben almost fall asleep? Sorry, I'm going to say that one again. Why does little Ben almost fall asleep most afternoons? So that's a retrieval question. So the answer is directly in the text. So you can just pull it out and write it down. And then the last one is a summarizing question, and it asks you to put some events in order. We're actually only going to be looking just at these 2 pages today. What I would do is write out A, B, and C on a piece of paper. If you want to copy out the questions, you can. If you want to pause and do that, that's fine. And then just mark 1 when you hear it, 2 when you hear it, and 3 when you hear it, and then you'll have the right order. So that question is, put these events in order. Little Ben almost fell asleep, so you'll know that will be from this question as well. B, the children were very quiet for a time. That's from the top question up there. And then the other one, the god looked down and nodded. So there are just 3 events there. I know we often do it with 4, but it's a bit harder when you haven't got it all written out on a piece of paper in front of you. So we're going with 3 today. So we're going to go back to here. This is the bit I was reading at the end of the last session. So the children looked up. The children backed away and backed away. Remember, they were backing away from a snake. And Ben held tight to Harry and Sue. And then the snake discovered a crack in the ground, and it slithered fast into the earth below. The children goggled. Goggled, that sounds funny. The children goggled. Wonder what that means. So, goggled. You know when we go swimming and lots of you wear some goggles? Yeah, so this is not that kind of goggle because this one is a verb. The children goggled. It's something that they did. And I'm going to have a look at the picture, and I think it's probably something to do with their eyes because it's got goggle, which reminds me of the words goggled. And it actually means when they're really staring at something and their eyes are open very wide. It's often like with shock or surprise. So you can say he goggled, makes his eyes really, really big if they're shocked, surprised, or concerned, maybe. Golly, they gasped. Goodness gracious, what a thing! And they were very, very quiet for a time. Perhaps, said little Ben at last, we've made enough for today. Perhaps we should have a rest, just like the gods do. I'm going to put this over here so you can see the questions a bit better. And the god looked down and nodded. Yes, she said, have a rest, like the gods do, before you do something really silly. Oh yeah, I think they think that they have done something really silly. And they did. And little Ben almost fell asleep, as he did most afternoons, because he was so small. And they lay there on the ground in the sunshine, just as the gods lay on the clouds above. And they thought about all the things they had made, just as the gods did. And they were extremely pleased with themselves, just as the gods were. But Sue couldn't keep still, and Harry couldn't keep quiet. I don't want to have a rest, he said. Nor do I, said Sue. I'm going to give you a quick flash for the next page. And then you can find out in the next session what's going to happen next. So let's just quickly go through the answers to the questions. So the first question was your inference question where you had to read between the lines. I think it would probably be an emotions answer to this question because they were scared, because they were worried, or perhaps you could say that they were thinking, oh my goodness, what have we done? Anything that sort of shows they're a bit worried about the fact that they've just created a snake. Question 2, why does he almost fall asleep in the afternoons? It's because, I think the exact words, it doesn't matter if you haven't got it exactly in this case, but you would be able to write because he was still so small, okay, or because he was small, something like that. And then putting the events in order, we've got here. So the first one was B. We were all very quiet for a time, so that would be number 1. Do this. So B would be 1. I don't know if you can see this. The gods looked down and nodded would be number 2. And little Ben almost fell asleep would be number 3. So A was 3, B was 1, and C was 2.